Comprehend this knowledge. Women, you need to know how to attract a man. One woman asked me, how to get married? I said, very simple. She said, I don't see how it's simple. I replied, you need to knock some man off his feet. She said, why knock him off his feet? I want him to stand on his feet. I said, no, you have to knock him off his feet so he becomes miserable, worn out, and weak. And when he becomes like that, you will think there's no point being with this person because he is too weak, miserable, and worn out. But remember him as he was before you knocked him off his feet, and marry him as he was before. Knock him off his feet only after you are sure that he's fresh as a daisy. And then make a fried cutlet out of him. But first let him fall in love and chase you. If you see that a man wants to marry you, only after that can you start thinking about him. You see, men have two tendencies. One is when a man wants to enjoy a woman and then throw her out of his life. The second tendency is the desire to take responsibility, to marry. Remember, the man who wants to enjoy you looks very impressive. He talks to you gently and lovingly. He's a very slick guy, and he doesn't really care about you, because the man who really wants to marry you, he doesn't look flashy. He is actually a very good man. He loves you, you know it, but he loses to the one who doesn't want to marry you. If you choose the one who doesn't want to marry you but looks impressive and treats you well, and you like it a lot, that person is deceiving you, and he will definitely leave you. But the man who truly loves you and pursues you is a good person, but you don't love him. Why? Because it is impossible to love the one who fell in love with you. That's the law. Then when he calms down, you agree to marry him. His dream will come true. You will definitely love him. When he calms down, we'll stop pulling love towards him, and then feelings will also arise in your heart. This is how a woman should get married. There are no other options. If a man starts telling you something, he is doing it to find out if you are his woman or not. If you agree with everything he says, it means you are his woman. If not, then you are not his woman. Don't say anything if you disagree. You can recite a poem silently in your mind at that time. Look at him, nod, and let him talk, but keep your own thoughts, stay in your own mindset for a long time. When he finishes talking, he will be happy and relaxed. This means he understood one important thing. I am a pilot and always wanted to be a pilot. Finally, I found a girl who likes pilots. Because it is very important to a man when a wife accepts him along with his work, with his life, she accepts his aspirations. If, on the contrary, she does not accept it, that is a disaster for a man. If a man is engaged in something in life and his wife doesn't like it, that's a disaster. So to avoid mistakes, he instinctively tests this, telling a woman about his interests and aspirations, seeking support. You need to understand how it works. If a woman likes a man, she nods to him because she likes how he talks. It doesn't matter what he says, she just likes him speaking. And he thinks that she likes the depth of his thoughts. That depth wasn't even close. That's the system. Women, if you like a man, but when he starts rambling, you get tired, think about something else. Don't interrupt the man while he's speaking. Let him talk, treat the situation kindly. For example, say, can I cook at the same time? You talk a lot. I really like it, but I need to do something else at the same time. He'll say, of course I'll talk and you can cook, and you start cooking. Let him talk. He needs to talk because he needs emotional support from his wife. Now I'll tell you what happens technically at that time. A very important thing happens. A man has the strength to achieve anything, but he lacks blessings. There is such a thing as luck. It is the scarcest thing in a man's heart. Luck always comes from a woman, so the man tells his wife about his affairs to receive luck in his work. When he sees support from his wife, that she agrees, listens lovingly, says, well done, that's right, then he will move mountains because everything falls into place, you see. He has the will, knowledge, and strength to do it, but he lacks the feeling of victory, the certainty that everything will be fine. This feeling is given by the wife. So take this seriously. You want the man to bring in lots of money and be successful? Then support him. Put your strength into this. It's very simple. Just say, you're so right, well done, keep going, move forward. Even if he knows you're not really listening deeply, he will still be happy if you support him. Because he needs your support. If you listen deeply and start reasoning about what he says, that will be a big mistake. He doesn't need your reasoning. He already knows what he has to do. You need to listen and nod. He needs your energy, the energy of love which gives him luck in life. If a loved one brings suffering and acts completely contrary to their duties, you need to accept it as your fate, and then you will be able to overcome it. If your wife doesn't listen to you and doesn't accept your work at all, then you need to accept this, agree with it, and later gently talk to her about it. Ask her, I would like to know what you want me to do. In this conversation, you will learn a lot of important things about how your life should change. The truth will be somewhere in the middle, and it will really bring huge changes to your life. If you accept her and then listen to her, she will really help you, because a woman has a protective instinct for her husband in her heart. She usually reacts paradoxically. If she is afraid of it, then you shouldn't engage with it at all, but you need to accept her opinion, her reaction, and do what you do, taking her understanding into account, making adjustments. A woman can save her husband's life. I had such a case in my life. My vision in my left eye began to blur. It was going away. I prayed, meditated, and saw that there were muscle spasms in the eye from the computer. Because of these spasms, problems arise. I told my wife that my vision was fading. She said, "That's it, let's go to the eye doctor." She arranged an appointment with a professor, a very serious eye doctor who would check my eye. I said, "I can see my eye myself, I have spasms there." She said, "No, we'll go to the doctor." And she insisted. So I thought, okay, fine. And I went to the doctor. I came to the doctor. He said, "What are your complaints?" I said, "I have no complaints. My wife has complaints." And my wife started complaining. He talked with her, then measured my eye pressure. It turned out I had very high eye pressure. I understood the spasms but didn't realize the consequences, that pressure increases and compresses the optic nerve, and very soon the eye could become atrophied. So my wife saved my eye. I hadn't thought about it. Now by my own methods of treatment, I've restored my eye to normal. I put seeds on my ears. That's how a new treatment method was born. Nobody treats glaucoma like this. With prayer, I saw that there are certain seeds and points on the ear, and placing seeds there regulates eye pressure. And now my eye pressure is always normal. I just wear the seeds, and that's it.
Always?
Always.
What kind of seeds?
This is all individually tailored. Actually, that was a hidden advertisement. You need to sign up at our center for a free consultation. Then we will send you the seeds and regulate how you wear them. We send more seeds than the person actually needs for treatment. It took me several months to select seeds for myself, and that's how I developed the method. Now it's a developed technique. Once the seeds arrive, just 2 weeks of correction are needed for the person to fully undergo the method. Then the person continues wearing them, and their eye pressure stays normal. We now treat many illnesses using seeds. It especially helps children with intellectual disabilities to develop their intellect, and also helps people with mental illnesses. Where no one else can help, these deep regulation methods through the ear work. But there is one but. If a person does not get energy from nature, does not run, does not exercise outdoors, nothing will help. To heal a person, energy inside the person is needed. These seeds just redirect that energy to the right channel, and that's it. Our experience shows, if a person does not lead a healthy lifestyle, seeds don't help. They overstrain the person. That is, they require energy, but there is none. The person feels bad because of it and stops wearing the seeds. So you can't avoid going outside in the fresh air, fasting and living properly. Back to what I said, it's not about seeds, but about my wife. She saved my eye. I knew everything that was going on in my eye, but my knowledge was limited, you see. She made me go to the doctor and learn deeper about it, which gave me the opportunity to heal myself. That's how the woman's heart works. She doesn't fully understand what is happening, but she guides the man to the truth. Her heart is connected to God in relation to her husband, not herself. In relation to herself, a woman doesn't always know what to do in life. That's why she is seeking advice from everyone. A woman gains knowledge on how to live through those she loves, through friends, loved ones, parents. She always seeks truth in life through them, but a man always seeks truth through his own experience. Remember this, women. Therefore, the husband will listen to you only to some extent. He won't be able to change his direction in life like you do, by advice from others. A man must always go through his own experience. Otherwise, he simply won't understand. He won't gain knowledge. He needs to try to understand, accept, and learn everything himself, etc. This requires a tremendous amount of time. Therefore, a woman accepts and understands things faster, but applying them is very difficult for her. A man understands and accepts much slower, but later it is very easy for him to apply it all. Do you understand the difference between a man and a woman? That's why changes in a loved one are always a big effort. A woman can quickly understand what she needs to do from what her husband says, but to actually do it, she needs inspiration. This will take a lot of time. A man understands very slowly what his wife says, but when he understands, he won't need anything else. He will do it himself. For a woman to do something, she always needs help because she lacks willpower. She has the knowledge but finds it hard to apply, so a woman must always seek support and inspiration. That's how intelligent women live. They are always inspired and do what is needed with the help of that inspiring strength. A woman can live strongly and happily only when there is a lot of inspiring energy around. Many women, friends, elders, lectures. She must constantly be inspired by something, and then the woman has a strong life position. She always moves forward. A man moves forward when he has friends who also live this way and support him. But friends support him because they go in the same direction. It's not that they inspire you. A man inspires himself when he sees that someone else is doing the same. A woman especially needs to be inspired. She must feel that she wants to do it, and then she will do it. If she doesn't want to, she won't do it. So remember one thing, a loved one always carries a lot of injustice within themselves. If you want that injustice to pass, first accept that person together with this injustice. Step into the abyss. Go where no one goes. It may seem like a complete disaster. Why did I marry this woman? She doesn't understand me at all. Go into the abyss. Don't be afraid of anything. She behaves that way because that's what your fate demands. As soon as you accept your fate, agree with everything and become humble, from that moment her understanding will slowly start to change. And in time she won't think like that anymore. And that's how you overcome fate. That's how the system works. Try it once and then you'll always apply it in life. You will never doubt that this is the way to go. This applies not only to friends but also to your boss and people around you in general. If your boss starts acting against you, doesn't like you, accept them as they are. And there will be only two options. First, they stop disliking you. Second, you realize you need to work somewhere else. So they bring you some kind of knowledge, but you don't know which kind yet. You simply accept them, do as they think is necessary. And over time, either they will start respecting you, which means you should stay there, it's just heavy karma influencing you. Or God pushes you, forces you out of this place. And in that case, the boss will keep pushing you out despite your forgiveness. At some point, you will just realize this. And not only realize, but you will also get an offer somewhere else. When you work through the karma, God will not only show you that you are being pushed out, but also that you are invited somewhere else. You need to wait until this moment. And when you have waited, just go there and give your boss the whole world. If you leave immediately, you will be left without a job. The injustice a person sees in this world is the basis for overcoming oneself. You cannot treat injustice as something hostile. That is the wrong mindset. If you see some injustice, first accept it in order to understand what to do with it. There are certain kinds of injustice that you should never let into your life. For example, if someone tries to rape you on the street, resist with all your might. Scream, make noise, never be silent, never agree. Then the person will leave you alone. They will see the noise and commotion. If you get scared and stay silent, they might even kill you later. So there are some things you must never agree to. If there is violence, for example, if the husband beats you, you cannot agree to that. You must live separately right away and set conditions. If a husband brings another woman home, don't agree to that. There is such a thing as betrayal, violence, and rudeness. You must never agree to that. You will lose yourself as a person. Never agree. Live separately immediately. You might say, but we have children. You will save your children if you do this, because in cases where there is rudeness, cruelty, hatred, the person will only sober up if they lose something. There is no other way. If you keep living with him, it will only get worse and worse. It will never get better. So if a person crosses the line, you must always punish them, but punish them kindly. Often people endure until the last moment, then leave the person and then regret it, because when they leave, they see the person start to change. The right way is not to leave, but simply live separately so that the person can change. If you notice this kind of terrible injustice in your life, it means you caused a lot of trouble in your past life, but you shouldn't live alongside injustice. If someone attacks you with a knife, don't live with them, but don't just abandon them, give them a chance. If they are incorrigible, they'll attack someone else and end up in jail. That's not your problem, it will be theirs. Or they may be correctable and repent. But if we talk about educating a stubborn man who really does big foolish things, women should do this. Set conditions for him while living separately. He will agree he is wrong and swear to you he won't do it again. Know that his oath is sincere. But usually if there is a strong evil influence on the person, they can't change after just one time. So you plan for 5-6 times. In other words, if he swears, I won't drink, you go back. As soon as he drinks, you leave again and set conditions. Repeat 6 times. After the 6th or 7th time, you can draw conclusions. If after 6 attempts nothing changes, you must set a final boundary. It means the person chose the bottle over you. That's their choice. You are not abandoning anyone. They are choosing their life. Because where the bottle lives, a woman can't live, or she also falls into it. There are only those 2 possibilities. There are 3 categories of people that characterize 3 types of fate. There is an insurmountable fate, very cruel. You must keep your distance from it. You can't live with it. How to recognize insurmountable fate? It humiliates a person, makes them into minced meat. No one forced a person to humiliate themselves in life. If fate humiliates, live separately. Don't abandon your fate. Educate him. The time will come when he will leave you, or you will get a good husband someday. Look how the system works. Cruel fate. Husband drinks, beats, cheats. Live separately or at a distance. He doesn't want to leave you. He's just wandering around. Don't sleep with him. Don't kiss him. Help, care, and say, I don't sleep with dirt. Either become a normal husband, or this is how we'll live, until the person repents. But if you start sleeping with dirt, you yourself will become dirt, and your self-respect will become so weak that he will definitely leave you. What is the danger in this situation? The danger is to accept betrayal into your life. Never accept betrayal into your life. Always keep it far away. You deserve divine relationships. Every person deserves true love. Yes, this is your fate, but there are 3 types of fate. With one fate, you must rebel against it and distance yourself. That's degrading fate. Then comes lawlessness, and you must set conditions for it. The second type of fate is passionate fate. When a close person is generally well-intentioned, has no big quirks, but isn't very interested in you, they are busy with their own life. This is usually 90% of people's lives, so we live together like strangers, living together, each busy with their own things. Why do people live like this? Because they are just undeveloped. They are well disposed towards each other but not developed. They don't know how to give themselves to another person. To give yourself to another, you must be deeply in love with them. I already explained to you the consequences of such love. And even if you fall in love with someone, it will wear off over time. Love wears off for everyone, definitely not forever. So that doesn't work. You simply have to serve your loved one and reach the 3 stages of love in relationships. The first stage is called gratitude. I already explained it to you. At this stage, you can already make relationships strong, because if there is both service and nurturing in a relationship, they are indestructible. A person either constantly tries to educate their loved one and destroys the relationship because usually such a person does not serve them, but is proud of themselves and constantly nags and tries to control them, and the relationship breaks down. Or a person constantly serves and humiliates themselves. That also destroys relationships. But if there is both service and nurturing in the relationship is indestructible because conscience constantly lives there. To summarize, the first stage is gratitude. At this stage, you can nurture a loved one. Before this stage, trying to nurture them is useless. You won't be able to teach them anything. Gratitude comes from your sacrifice in the relationship. You contribute something to the relationship that they themselves couldn't do. The second stage of the relationship is called respect. What is that stage? After gratitude, a person gradually perceives the divine nature of their loved one. You already saw this divine nature when you fell in love with them. When a person falls in love with someone, God shows what to strive for in that person. You already saw and felt this. Now believe that it is so. You have seen many other things after that, but look at the person as you did when you were in love, because during that phase, God revealed himself in the person and showed himself to you through them. Look at the person the same way. Believe that they are that way, and they will become that way. This is called respect. What is respect? When you see the divine in the person. You didn't fall in love with them as with God. It's not a blind love. But you serve the person because you saw that divine in them. You like this person. And remember this feeling. Serve them like that, and at some point you will see that it is so. At this moment you will begin to respect them. This is the second stage of love. At the stage of respect, people never leave each other because the pleasure of sex doesn't even come close to this stage. People feel so much happiness when they respect each other. The sexual pleasure, which ends quickly, a few years and that's it, is nowhere near this purity in the relationship. And the third stage of love is called faithfulness. What is faithfulness? It's when you feel a person very deeply. At this stage, people don't separate in the next life. They continue to live together. There are several songs that are sung specifically about this stage, and some of them were written by great saints. One of these songs was written by Rabindranath Tagore. He gave instructions to his wife before passing away. He did this in poetic form. He told her that they will be together forever, that love is the greatest law that unites people. He told her that at the end of her life, when she is already elderly, she will remember him, and that she will feel his presence throughout her life. Because people don't separate after death if they have reached this stage of love. This couple reached this stage of love. That is why they will be together in the next life. To learn more on the subject of health and healing of the body, please make sure to read my health guide, available for download on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram page. Thank you very much, and see you soon.